Hello and welcome back, class. So we're continuing with chapter 5. In this section's topic would be oral doses from starting on page 145, 5.2. Our learning objectives are to determine pediatric doses using dosing tables and calculate the amount of medication to be dispensed. So what are oral doses? Oral doses are prescribed over other dosage form whenever possible and appropriate because oral medications are typically safe and cost effective. So again, oral medications, anything that's going to be inserted by mouth, they can come in different forms. Usually they will come in tablet or capsule, but liquid forms are also common available. Liquid medications are used most commonly for children and adults with diseases that impair swallowing, or for even adults that have a difficulty time swallowing. Tablets or capsules may be prescribed liquid medications as well. So determine the pediatric dose using dosing tablets. So a typical dosing tablet includes an age range and or a weight range with corresponding doses. Dosing tablets are used for both oral liquids and solid dosage forms, but oral liquids are easier for young patients to take and thus are more common. So again, these tables will be for those type of patients that sometimes there's no commercially available medication. So these dosing forms will be used, or calculation of dosage will be used. So dosing tablets often appear on over-the-counter packaging for products used for children older than the age of 2. For medication used for children under age, the instructions always say to consult your physician. The table for children under age 2 is available to healthcare providers in pharmacies and physicians' offices. Physicians often instruct patients to purchase over-the-counter medications for small children, so appropriate dosing instructions may be provided for these patients. So again, it's very rare, but there are medications out there that children under 2 years of age can use. And again, you want to consult with your physician or pharmacist before you administer any medication, even though you already know the formula that will be used for 2 types of medications. Dosings may need to be translated from metric units to household measure units. Use the dosing information in table 5.3 and 5.4 on the next 2 slides to complete examples that follow. So again, I want to state that please, even though you have this chart available for you, still, if you have a child under the age of 2 and they are prescribed a certain kind of medication, or they're told to buy over-the-counter medications, please consult your physician before you do administer drugs to your children. So for the pediatric acetaminophen dosing, children under 2, so 0 to 3 months, are given a 40 milligram dose. Children between 4 to 11 months are given 80 milligrams. 1 to 2 years old are given 120, 2 to 3, 160, 4 to 5, 250. And the maximum adult dose would be 4,000 milligrams or 4 grams per day. Okay, they should not exceed 4,000 milligrams per day, or 4 grams. Should never exceed. Pediatric for ibuprofen. So again, and pay attention to this ibuprofen. No child under the age of 6 months should be given ibuprofen. Okay. So if the child is of 6 to 11 months and they weigh between 12 to 17 pounds, the adult dose would be 50 milligrams. And see the difference between the acetaminophen and ibuprofen. Ibuprofen also states the weight of the patient, okay? 12 months to 23 months, 18 pounds to 23 pounds should be given 75 milligrams, and so forth. So using these two tables, let's try to figure out these next examples. So a 12-month-old child weighs 22 pounds is to receive 1 dose of acetaminophen. According to the acetaminophen chart on table 5.3, what is the appropriate dose? So again, if we look at the patient is 12 months. So if we look at the pediatric dose, 12 months, so 12 months would be around the 1 to 2 year range. So that would be 120 milligrams. Okay. So that would be the appropriate dose. So for ibuprofen, so the child is 4 years old. So a parent is instructed to give his child, 4-year-old child, acetaminophen alternating with ibuprofen. What is the appropriate dose for each drug? So each drug. So again, looking at the chart for acetaminophen, the child is 4 years old, so 4 to 5, 240 milligrams. In the ibuprofen dose, 4 to 5 is 150 milligrams. So that's the appropriate dosing for these children. Dispensing liquid medication. Many oral liquid medications are actually solid suspended in liquid. These suspensions are often indicated by the number of milligrams of solid drug particles per milliliter of solution. So for example, amoxicillin is available as 125 milligrams per 5 ml oral liquid. In other words, for every 5 milliliters of liquid, it contains 125 milligrams of amoxicillin. Oral liquid medications are most often dosed by teaspoons, tablespoons, fluid ounces, or in the metric system by milliliters. When calculating volumes of oral medication, it is best to convert everything into the same units. The preferred method is the metric system. So patient's instructions will usually indicate teaspoonfuls if the amount is an even half of or full teaspoon. However, the instructions should indicate milliliters if the dose is not easily measured using the household measurements. And like I was stating earlier in the previous section, sometimes pharmacies will put both metric and household units within that sentence or that instructions of how to take those medications. Oral syringes is helpful to patients using oral liquid using the metric or household systems. So like we stated before, sometimes a syringe would be dispensed along with the medication, and it'll have both metric and household measurements, so teaspoons and milliliters. So for example, the pharmacy receives a prescription for 100 milligrams of amoxicillin to be taken 3 times a day for 10 days. The pharmacy has a 150 ml bottle of 125 milligrams for 5 ml. How many milliliters of suspension will be dispensed, and what will the patient's dosing instructions on the label state? So first we have to determine how much 100 milligrams of amoxicillin are contained. So first of all, ratios and proportions. So milliliters on the numerators and milligrams in the denominators. So X mLs over 100 milligrams is equal to 5 mLs over 125. Cross multiply, and X is equal to 4 milliliters. using the amount determined for the single dose. So the total amount of suspension to be calculated over 10 days. So if 4 milliliters are per dose, and you're taking 3 doses per day, and you're taking it for 10 days, that will equal 120 mLs. Okay, so the patient instruction will state, take 4 milliliters 3 times daily for 10 days. So the volume dispensed is usually indicated by the prescriber. However, if it's not indicated, the volume to be dispensed is calculated by multiplying the volume of medication needed for a single day by the number of days of the treatment. Not only is the dispensed volume needed for insurance purposes, but the pharmacy also needs to ensure that the patient receiving enough medication to last for the duration of the treatment, whether the medication is liquid or solid form. So again, very important, you have to dispense enough for the patient to take home. So in this example, a patient is to take 1 teaspoon of medication twice daily, and she has 4 fluid ounce bottle of medication. How many milliliters of medication will the patient take in 1 day, and how many days will that medication last? So first of all, we have to find out how much is a patient taking per 1 day. So 1 teaspoon is equal to 5 milliliters. Therefore, 1 teaspoon per dose is equal to 5 mLs per dose. So then it's 1 fluid ounce is equal to 30 milliliters. Therefore, 4 fluid ounce per bottle is equal to 120 mLs per bottle. Next, determine how much medication is needed for 1 day. So if you're taking 2 doses per day, that's 5 mLs per dose. That will equal 10 mLs per day. Finally, calculate the number of days. So if there's 120 mLs per bottle, and you're taking, in 1 day you're taking 10 milliliters. So cancel 120 divided by 10 will be 12 days per bottle. So a patient has a prescription that states the following: take magic cough syrup 1 to 2 teaspoons every 4 to 6 hours, PRN per cough. Dispense 8 fluid ounce. How many days will the cough syrup last? So first of all, you want to determine, you'll use the most amount and the most time. So 2 teaspoons every 4 hours will give you the most amount that you can take for the most amount of time. So 1 teaspoon is equal to 5 milliliters. Therefore, 1 to 2 teaspoons is 5 to 10 mLs. 1 fluid ounce is 30 mLs. Therefore, 8 fluid ounce per bottle is equal to 240 mLs per bottle. Now, determine how much medication is needed. So, as prescribed, the patient will take the medication up to 6 times a day. That's every 4 hours. So, 6 doses per day, 10 milliliters per dose is equal to 60 mLs per day. Finally, determine the number of days. So, we have a total of about 240 mLs per bottle. You're taking 1 day, you're taking 6 milliliters. So, divide that and you get 4 days for per bottle. So that concludes the 5.2 section. So we'll see you shortly in the next section. Goodbye.